You know that moment when you want to start right now, but something inside you suddenly freezes? It's like an invisible hand grabs your progress and whispers, "Not yet. You're not ready." And you believe it. Procrastination isn't the villain here. It's your brain trying to protect you from uncertainty by pulling the emergency brake the second you move towards something meaningful. You're not flawed. You're running a survival program born thousands of years ago, a system designed to avoid risk, not chase dreams. And it still fires today. Your fear is smart. It speaks fluently in logic. You should research more. You should prepare more. You should wait until everything is perfect. But fear doesn't want perfection. It wants control. You keep waiting for the magical moment where confidence appears, energy peaks, and the path clears. But readiness is not something you feel first. It's something you create through action. The only way to beat the not ready instinct is to act before your brain can protest. Micromotions, tiny actions, bypass the fear circuit because they feel safe, manageable, and non-threatening. Your brain listens more to identity than goals. When you say, "I'm becoming someone who shows up," your actions follow. Identity is the engine, action is the fuel. When fear shows up, don't argue, relabel it. Tell yourself, this is just energy. Studies show this simple shift reduces amygdala activation and boosts performance. Fear becomes fuel. Every tiny win rewires your brain. Dopamine teaches your system progress equals safety. The more wins, the stronger your courage network becomes. In physics, objects at rest stay at rest until a force breaks inertia. You are the same. The moment you start, even if it's tiny, you create momentum that fear can't stop. When you repeatedly take action before feeling ready, something incredible happens. Your brain begins trusting you. It stops overprotecting you and starts supporting you. Fear doesn't disappear, but it gets smaller. What once felt like a wall becomes a doorway. What once felt impossible becomes inevitable. The more you show up, even in tiny ways, the more familiar action becomes. What once felt like a threat slowly turns into a routine, something your brain no longer resists because it understands this is safe. Every time you take action before feeling ready, you weaken the old readiness loop, the cycle of hesitation, doubt, and delay. You're showing your brain that momentum matters more than perfect timing. As you build these small victories, something powerful happens. Capability rises. Not because the world became easier, but because you finally see evidence that you can move despite fear. What you once called fear begins to evolve into excitement. The same energy, different meaning. Your brain learns that stepping into challenge can feel thrilling, not threatening. Confidence doesn't come from hype, it comes from evidence, your evidence. Every step you take becomes a receipt that says, "See, I can handle this." Confidence is the memory of your victories. At some point, momentum becomes part of who you are. You stop questioning whether you're ready and simply act because that's the kind of person you've trained yourself to be. And suddenly, the ceilings that once held you back feel like floors you now stand on. Old limits don't disappear, they become your starting line. You enter the zone where hesitation fades and forward motion becomes your default, a psychological current that carries you instead of stopping you. Now your brain stops whispering "not yet" and starts whispering something new. You've done this before. And that single shift rewrites the rules of how you move through life. The challenges that used to intimidate you become normal. Not easier, just normal. Your threshold for fear rises and your tolerance for discomfort expands. You become the kind of person who moves first, thinks later, not recklessly, but courageously. You develop a habit of initiative, a bias for action that reshapes the trajectory of your entire life. You stop waiting for perfect timing, perfect clarity, or perfect readiness. You stop asking the world for permission to begin. You give yourself the green light. And that changes everything. When you avoid difficult tasks, your brain rewards you with short-term relief but builds long-term anxiety. Psychology calls this the avoidance loop. Break it once, even with a tiny action, and the loop begins to weaken. Courage grows from interruption, not perfection. The human brain is overwhelmed by vague, undefined goals. But when a task is broken into tiny, actionable steps, the prefrontal cortex relaxes, making action feel achievable. Turn mountains into sparks, and watch how quickly they ignite momentum. Newton's first law applies to life too. Objects in motion stay in motion. Once you begin, even imperfectly, you tap into momentum that reduces resistance over time. The hardest part is the start. After that, physics works in your favor. According to identity-based motivation research, your habits stick when they align with who you believe you are. Create identity anchors, small behaviors that prove to your brain, this is me now. With every repetition, your new identity becomes harder to break. Most bad habits don't come from lack of discipline, they come from unexamined triggers. Change the cue and the habit collapses. Replace the old trigger with a healthy one, and you rewrite the entire behavior loop from the source. Mastery has never come from intensity, it comes from showing up. Even on days you feel slow, tired, or uninspired, the act of showing up rewires your brain for consistency. Your future self is built from the days you stayed when excuses told you to leave. Real transformation rarely comes from giant leaps. Science shows that improving just 10% in one habit creates a compounding effect across your entire identity. Small wins aren't small. They're the building blocks of unstoppable momentum. You don't become disciplined by forcing yourself. You become disciplined by believing, I am the type of person who follows through. When identity shifts, actions follow naturally. The strongest motivation comes from who you decide to be. People don't act because they know, they act because they feel. Neuroscience shows emotions activate the brain's action centers. If you want real change, attach emotion to your goals. Excitement, purpose, urgency. Success isn't about having more discipline, it's about removing friction. A Stanford study shows easier tasks get done 3 to 5 times more often. Build your environment so taking action feels natural, not forced. Once you start, your brain releases dopamine that pulls you into deeper focus. This is why the first step matters most. Don't wait for motivation, create it by initiating motion. Motivation fades, but systems carry you forward. A system is a repeatable process that works even on bad days. Winners rely on structure, not mood. Attention is the most valuable currency of your life. Every notification steals a piece of your future. Protect it fiercely, because where your attention goes, your identity grows. You become what you surround yourself with, scientifically proven by behavior contagion studies. Surround yourself with cues that trigger your best self. Books, reminders, inspiring workspaces. A tiny commitment completed daily reinforces identity more than big, inconsistent goals. A 1-minute action can build a lifetime habit. Every decision is a vote for the person you're becoming. Imagine your future self watching you right now. Would they say thank you? Or why did you quit again? No matter how bad today goes, you're always one decision away from a reset. A powerful mindset. You never fail, you simply restart. Your brain grows stronger every time you choose discomfort. Neuroplasticity thrives on challenge. The moments you resist the most are exactly where transformation begins. Consistency beats intensity. 1 brick a day builds an empire. Show up, even imperfectly. Your future self will thank you. You're not stuck. You're just on a page you've outgrown. Turn it. Rewrite it. You're the author. Your story is still in your hands. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be intentional. Every action, every choice, every small step, this is how you become unstoppable. Not someday, today. Subscribe and return in 7 days. Let's see just how far you've evolved.